Welcome to the City Manager's Report. The City Manager's Report, a look at city updates and municipal news, and a preview of the next Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda. Your hosts, Emily Springstroh of Oshkosh Media and City Manager Mark Roloff.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us on GovTV for your City Manager's Report, your source for all of the latest and greatest news and updates that are happening right here in the city of Oshkosh, as well as a preview of the upcoming Common Council meeting agenda. I'm your host, Emily Springstroh, joined as always by our City Manager, Mark Roloff. Welcome, Mark.
Great to be here, Emily.
It's always great to have you, and we do have plenty to talk about as we do every week on City Manager's Report. So we're going to go ahead and dive into the first half of our show today with some hot topics. We'll take a little break, and then we'll return with the review of the Common Council meeting agenda for Tuesday, October 23rd, 2018. So, Mark, we're going to kick off the show today with a little bit of a construction update. It's getting to be the time of year where a lot of these projects are starting to wind down. So, first thing that we want to talk about is Washington Avenue. It's been closed for quite a while, and a lot of people are really anticipating the reopening. So, tell us what the status of this project is.
I know there's a lot of anxious people because it seems like it's been going on forever, but Washington Avenue was the last part of the project, and it was the last one to close, but because it's also the last to reopen, people are getting a little antsy. But progress is there, thanks to our friends who run the Positively Oshkosh Facebook page. They gave us a little update. Concrete's been poured on the second half of the street, but there's still curb and gutter and other little finishing touches that need to get put on. This has to dry about 7 days, what you're seeing right there, and that was just done this week, so we're real happy about that. But in order for people to be able to move off of the street and into driveways and turn corners and things like that, we got to get the curb and gutter done as well. So give us a little more time. I know that Public Works would like to open the Main to State Street part a little earlier, and if they can, they will. But we're due to be done in 4 weeks. We are on schedule to be done in 4 weeks, but I know everybody would like it done sooner. I would too. I swear I would, but we just have to give it just a little more time. But things are progressing very well, and we're very pleased with the progress.
Wonderful. It's great to see all the progress happening in that area, and like you said, we're all very excited for when it will open again. So another street project update that we wanted to give was Oshkosh Avenue. We've been talking about this at almost every episode of City Manager's Report. A lot of people talking on social media about this project. Tell us a little bit about first when the project is due to be finished.
Well, it's actually making pretty good progress. You're probably going to see some limited reopening of the street, but I'd still say limited. These are the two areas right at Fox and Pinoqua where the street is closed, and so you pretty much have to make your way around. The official detour route is Keller to Witzel to Sawyer. We had some problems a couple weeks ago because the bridge over at Oshkosh Avenue, Congress Avenue Bridge, was not functioning well, and that really messed things up. So if you can avoid traveling on Oshkosh Avenue, probably better for you, but we anticipate there'll be some limited opening beginning October 22nd, but I mean really limited. You might get stuck behind some traffic because they might have to stop for a while to let people let vehicles or trucks in and out of there. So recognize that it's going to be limited opening. The detour routes are still going to be shown, and we're absolutely encouraging people to use it. But probably late at night, if you're in a pinch, you can probably make it through there okay. But I would wait until October 22nd before I'd sneak past. Attempt it. Yeah, just be careful. And of course, you're always in a construction zone. Please be careful when you're out there as well.
Yes, and we're looking at a few more weeks yet for this one before it's fully open and open to both lanes of traffic and everything, right, Mark?
That's correct. And we'll get it done. But this is all part of that lift station that we're doing for that neighborhood. That's actually kind of a misnomer or a misunderstanding. Coincidentally, it's being done around the same time that all the work is being done at Oshkosh Corporation. They are actually two completely independent projects. All this work was being done. Everything east of Eagle Street is run on a separate lift station, and frankly, it just wasn't working as well. And we've had this project in the works for at least 3 years now. But actually, Oshkosh Corporation, any of the sewage that leaves there is actually going to be going down either Keller or West Hill, or not West Hill,
Westfield?
Westfield, yes, thank you.
Okay.
Down Westfield. So, but I know a lot of people have that confusion going on because of so much activity going on there.
There's a lot going on that side of town. So we appreciate the, reminding us that it is a stormwater project, completely independent and unrelated. So
Yeah.
And if you're interested in getting updates sent directly to your inbox, definitely visit the city website and the Public Works page, and you can have those sent directly to your email address for any of the projects that are happening in the city. So just take a look at that. There's a full list, and you can pick which projects you want updates on. So moving down, speaking of updates, we've got the budget happening really soon here, and we're in the thick of it right now, Mark. So what's the biggest changes or notes to look forward to as we move forward into these big workshops coming up?
The council received the 2019 budget on Tuesday, October 9th, and so they have a few weeks to kind of soak it all in, ask a lot of questions in preparation for 2-day-long budget workshops on October 29th and 30th. So that's when council will be listening to the different department presentations. I can tell you that the budget is on the general fund side, it's going up about 2.5%. And of course, everybody's interested in the tax bill and everything. The tax levy is proposed to go up as it's submitted about 3.9%. The overall tax rate is actually going down about 15 cents. So a lot of it depends on what council sees and what they do and don't like. And I encourage them, if they feel there's changes they want to make, I encourage them to make suggestions, and we'll present options for them to consider prior to their final adoption on November 14th.
Okay, and then we've also got the hearing coming up on November 7th. So the 2 workshops, the hearing on Wednesday, November 7th, and all of that will be covered on GovTV Live on our website, and we'll be replaying it on YouTube and our website as well, because they are quite lengthy workshops on the 29th and 30th.
They are, and please note that November 7th is a Wednesday because of Election Day. We moved the hearing
Right.
one day later, so be on the lookout for that. And it's going to be at 5 p.m. Because the council still has a little bit more work to do based on input that they receive at the public hearing. So they may want us to give us some ideas on things they may want to consider change, up or down or otherwise. They give us that input, but they want to wait on giving us that input until after the public hearing takes place.
Excellent. So yeah, we encourage people to tune into those, educate yourself, inform yourself on the budget, and definitely give us your input too. So moving on to some lighter topics here during today's show, Mark, we want to remind the public that Trick or Treat is on a weekday. Halloween is on a weekday this year on Wednesday, October 31st. So Trick or Treat hours will be taking place from 5 to 7.
Yep, it sure will, and it'll be dark there, so please be on the lookout for all the little kids, especially people coming home from work right around 5 o'clock. So we just want to let the word out there and let everybody know it starts at 5 p.m. and look forward to seeing all the kids in the costumes and enjoying themselves.
It's always a fun time. And I know there are several other trick-or-treat events happening, like downtown Oshkosh. The local business is doing some. So just check out the city website or visit Oshkosh. I'm sure has great information too. And make sure that you're being careful driving out on the streets that evening.
Absolutely.
Moving down, Mark, we've got an open house coming up. And now this is kind of a new-ish thing that we're doing here in the city. Every year, a different department, or every quarter, I can't remember how often we're doing it. But we're opening up the doors to different departments of the city for the public to come in and see what it's all about. So Parks is having their open house coming up on November 10th.
Yes, Saturday, November 10th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. This actually started after our strategic plan, and we was first developed, and we opened the Public Works Garage when it first reopened. So this is a little different because the Parks Department's a little bit older, but the whole idea is to give people an idea of what goes on behind the scenes at city departments. And this year we're going to highlight the Parks Department. So encourage people to come out. The Farmers Market will be long since done, so we encourage people to swing by the Parks Department often on Witzel Avenue and just see about things that maybe you didn't know about before.
Yeah, also a great opportunity to meet staff too and kind of see the people that make everything possible in the Parks Department. A lot of people don't realize how much happens within the Parks Department, like the Senior Center, forestry, the cemetery. And so it's a great learning experience and just a great opportunity to get in there and learn a little bit about our departments.
There'll be light refreshments and door prizes, so we encourage people to come, do a little teaser to get you in there.
There you go. Yes, definitely. So looking forward to that. More information on Facebook and the city website. Moving on down our list, we also want to put out another reminder for the City Hall elevator project that's going to be taking place. The elevator at City Hall will not be functioning during the dates of November 15th to December 31st. And we're kind of preparing for that already, Mark.
We sure are. And the major thing is all the public meetings that take place, including the November 27th council meeting and the December 11th council meeting, along with any other boards and commissions, because those have to be accessible to all the public. So we're going to be moving those offices over, or those meetings over to the public safety building. So look for information about that, but plan for that, and we'll make sure we have signs up and everything. But we're just starting now to let people know to be ready, that if you are planning to come to those meetings, it'll be after the final budget approval. The budget approval will be done on November 14th in the council chambers, but after that the elevator closes, so we just want to let people know in advance.
In addition to that, if people are looking to meet with different departments that are on the second through fourth floors too, we'll be taking care of that on the first floor. We got a whole plan in place.
Yeah, I mean, some of you, we're going to encourage most people, if you can, to take the stairs, but if you absolutely can't take the stairs, we'll make sure we make a good accommodation for you.
Yes. So definitely be on the lookout. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook. We'll be posting updates on where different public meetings are going to be taking place, what rooms at the safety building, and things like that. And we'll be continuing to push this item forward. So then we wanted to promote something that we unveiled at the last council meeting, Mark. And this was kind of an exciting project for Oshkosh Media. We put together 5 Welcome to Oshkosh videos that promote different parts of Oshkosh and legs of the strategic plan. And so the first one was unveiled at the last council meeting.
Quality of life is the first feature, and I think we just ought to show it and let people enjoy these. It really says a lot of great things about our community.
Definitely. Let's take a look.
Oshkosh, Wisconsin, a thriving hub of business and activity surrounded by beautiful waterways, is located in northeast Wisconsin, about halfway between Green Bay and Milwaukee. It is a progressive city that offers small-town friendliness with big city features and a high quality of life for all ages and interests. 2 major health centers call the city home. The Oshkosh Area School District gives students the place to build a strong education, and the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh and Fox Valley Technical College provide competitive higher education opportunities. Local favorites, such as the Public Library and Museum, Riverwalk, Grand Opera House, and dozens of parks provide residents and visitors a chance to enjoy the city's charm, culture, and personality, while large events bring in thousands of visitors for conventions, festivals, and more. Opportunities for entertainment are around every corner, indoor and outdoor, during any season of the year. The city places a strong value on inclusiveness and community, and is proud of the strong relationships built through service organizations, nonprofits, and neighborhoods. For both longtime residents and newcomers, it is clear to see why so many are proud to call Oshkosh home.
So that is the first Welcome to Oshkosh video that we've shown to the public formally, but all the other ones are already posted to our YouTube channel if you just cannot wait to see the other ones. So
encourage you to look at them, and we're going to unveil the next one on Tuesday night at the council meeting.
Yes, and we're very excited to continue to push those out and unveil them to the public. So moving on, it's that time of the show where viewers have the chance to ask their city manager anything they want about things that are happening right here in Oshkosh. Let's take a look at what the question mark is this week. All right, Mark, question is, why was that old building near the museum torn down? It's a great question.
It's a very good question. It's not as old as you think, and rather than me give you the long answer to it, I think it's best that we let Brad Larson, our museum director, talk about that and give a little background about the old fire barn.
So let's take a look at what Brad had to say.
Behind me is the remains of what used to be the fire barn, and it was built in 1974. And it was a goal to remove the fire barn from the museum site. That goal was established in 1992, so here we are 26 years later, and the fire barn is finally gone. The fire barn was a collection storage building. It was never really intended as a long-term building, and the condition was really deteriorating. It was really in tough shape. So to remove the building required that we find a home for all the artifacts that were stored in there. We have a new storage facility over on Sawyer Street, and that cleared the way for the removal of the fire barn. So the cool thing about having the fire barn gone is now all that traffic on the corner of High and Congress can see a great view of the public museum, and it's a really nice view. And so with that building gone, now you can see the museum really for the first time since 1974. So it's a good goal. It took 26 years to accomplish, but we're pretty happy about it.
Very exciting, very cool video that Scott got of the fire barn being taken down. That time lapse is really cool.
Yeah, I know there were some people that asked, why such an old building, but it wasn't as old as people think, just a little over 40 years old. And then some people asked, well, why didn't we kind of reclaim some of the wood there? But actually, it wasn't real high quality wood, and actually was starting to get moldy on the inside, which really accelerated our tearing of it down, because if we left artifacts in there, they could have gotten damaged, and mold damage is basically a death knell to museum artifacts. So it was appropriate for us to get it down. But it was a great question, and appreciate the opportunity to tell that story.
Very great question, and thanks for paying attention. So we encourage you to take a drive by the museum, because it really opens up the space and makes it look very nice. So great question this week. Thanks for sending that to us on Facebook. If you have a question for Mark, go ahead and send it to us on Twitter at City of Oshkosh, post it to the Oshkosh Media Facebook wall, or email it to questionmark@ci.oshkosh.wi.us, and he'll answer it on the next episode of City Managers Report. We're going to take a quick break here on CMR, and when we return, we will dive into the Common Council meeting agenda for Tuesday, October 23rd. We'll be right back on City Managers Report.
I'm going to bring it.
Bring it.
Raila.
Bring it.
We are going to bring it.
Bring it.
This election.
This election,
This election,
I'm
going to bring it.
I'm going to bring it.
bring it.
Bring it to the ballot.
Bring it to the ballot.
Now you need to show a photo ID, like a Wisconsin driver license, passport, or Wisconsin state ID card, before casting your ballot in the next election. Find out whether your ID will work at bringit.wisconsin.gov. And don't forget to bring your ID to the ballot.
Explore the riches of prehistoric and early life that spans 13,000 years in the new People of the Waters exhibition at the Oshkosh Public Museum. Discover how the Ice Age transformed the landscape. Experience living in a full-size recreated longhouse. Uncover the past and learn the secrets of the fur trade. People of the Waters, a new interactive exhibition at the Oshkosh Public Museum. Discover more at oshkoshmuseum.org.
Welcome back to City Managers Report. Thanks again for joining us. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Common Council meeting agenda for Tuesday, October 23rd, 2018. So just before the Common Council will be meeting, they'll be meeting prior to the meeting itself at 5 o'clock for a workshop on classification and compensation updates. So Mark, give a brief update on what exactly they're going to be talking about here.
Well, the council every few years does a compensation study just to see how our employee salaries compare with the market. This is not a full-blown study. This is an update to just do a quick survey of the market, see how we're doing. The results are that there's really not many adjustments that need to be made, and they're not going to be making wholesale changes. So that's just an update that council requires every few years, and we're going to be doing that. And I don't see any major changes as a result of this in the budget or in our compensation system, at least not for the next few years.
Excellent. And if you're interested in watching the workshop, it'll be on the 23rd at 5 o'clock. We'll be covering it live on GovTV, Oshkosh Media, and our YouTube, or if you can listen to it on the radio at Oshkosh FM. Moving down under the consent agenda, Mark, we've got the award bid for rooftop units for HVAC replacement for the Oshkosh Public Library. This is something that might be a little visible as you're visiting the library here and there, so tell us a little bit about what's going to be happening there.
Well, hopefully it won't be too disruptive, but all these construction projects do tend to be noticed by the public. The library is still, after 25 years after its rehabilitation back in the 90s, it's starting to show its age in certain things, and our heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, otherwise known as HVAC, needs to get replaced. And so it's close to $400,000 to getting this done, but it's one of those things that you stay on top of it, and then you don't have maintenance issues, which really become costly, and then replacing it when it's basically dead and you're scrambling around to try to make it work, you usually spend more money than you would on just getting the system replaced. So we know it's on its last legs, and it's a good time to do it.
Great. So just a heads up for that. Directly after that, we've got an approval for a purchase to Interstate Power Systems for a hybrid bus battery pack for the transit department, and that is $56,000. Tell us what exactly this battery pack is for. A lot of people might not even realize that we need them for the buses.
Back in 2010, we received a federal grant for 4 hybrid buses. Now that's out of a fleet of 17, and we only have 4 of them that are hybrid buses. But back then we were experimenting with some of the hybrid buses that are mostly electric, and they've worked pretty well. So we're very pleased with that. But the batteries, when they have to get replaced, they're not just like you'd run down to the battery store and get it replaced. These are major replacement items. So $56,000 plus to get this battery replaced. We're going to plan to do one a year from 18, 19, 20, and 21 because they generally are only supposed to last us 7 years. So we got 7 years of life out of them, but you don't want to push that too far. So we're going to get these replaced and then move along with getting all 4 of our hybrid buses replaced so that we extend the life of them to maybe 15 years.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for the background on that. As we move down, we've got several special events on the agenda here. First one that we want to highlight is the Downtown Oshkosh Business Improvement District to utilize city streets for the holiday parade on November 13th, 2018. And that's coming up in just a few short weeks here.
Yeah, such a big deal that our normal council meeting is November 13th. The council is moving their meeting to November 14th because who doesn't love the holiday parade? So, and it sounds like the Howard has agreed to be the sponsor this year. So we do the lighting ceremony, and of course we know that Emily and all her pals here at Oshkosh Media will be televising the parade for later showing on GovTV or Live TV.
Yes, we always look forward to the holiday parade. It's my personal favorite of the Oshkosh Oshkosh parades. It is an evening parade at 6 p.m. and then just a reminder, it is on a Tuesday this year instead of a Thursday. I have a feeling they switched it because I think there was a Packer game or something like that, but a little different this year, typically on a Thursday, and this year it's on a Tuesday. We look forward to enjoying it with everyone, and you can find more information on the Downtown Oshkosh Business Improvement District's website. And then kind of hand in hand with that, right after that on the agenda, we want to kind of promote a little bit the Celebration of Lights coming up. They're on the agenda here for a special event coming up November 24th through December 31st at Menominee Park.
Annual Celebration of Lights. It's another great holiday tradition here in Oshkosh over at Menominee Park. And so, even if your kids have seen it before, it's amazing how it brings back memories. So 5 to 9 p.m. starting November 24th. Please bring the family. And this is just the city's small way of just approving its use in Menominee Park, but great volunteers that help put this together. I can't thank those folks enough. It's a labor of love. They're actually out there right now getting started on this thing, and they'll be ready on November 24th, and you'll enjoy it.
It is quite the setup, and yeah, like you said, it's definitely worth coming out every year for it, and you can get more information on Facebook about that. Definitely looking forward to the holidays and all that comes with it here in Oshkosh. Moving down the consent agenda, we've got the approval for a conditional use permit and its specific implementation plan. And this is, referred to as the Morgan District, of course. So this is a lot of buzz around the Morgan District word. Tell us a little bit about what this agenda item is dealing with.
This is, at long last, a little tighter version of what we're going to see out of the Morgan District. The Morgan partners have been working on this for a number of years, looking back and forth about different things they would like to do. And they've settled on a mix of multifamily development there. And I know we have some renderings that were shown to the Plan Commission the other day. If you've been in downtown Sturgeon Bay, you've seen the color scheme is very familiar to folks who are down on the west side of downtown Sturgeon Bay. The same architect is using that. So I got to meet with the architect a few weeks ago at an event, and he's very excited about being part of this and appreciate the Morgan partners and their patience to get this done. It's going to be about 4 stories.
Wow.
And it's just going to be a wonderful addition to the riverfront. Bringing a lot of people downtown to perhaps move and then dine and work downtown. It's just really part of that whole lifestyle concept that I think is very attractive these days.
Very exciting way to, like you said, breathe new life into the area, and looks like it'll be a beautiful addition to the area. Moving down after that, we've got the approval of the 2019 and 2020 strategic plan, and not too much has changed from the last strategic plan that we worked on with this one. It seems to be working pretty well for us.
The priority goals remain the same. The council has reaffirmed those for a second 2-year run with our strategic plan. So this is 2019-2020. The council held a day-long retreat, actually 2 one-day-long retreats over the course of the summer, met with department heads, and re-emphasized or reaffirmed our priority goals, which include quality of life, infrastructure, public health and safety, neighborhoods, and economic development, as well as performing effective government. So those are really the mainstays of our strategic plan, our priority goals. Within each of those individual goals, you're going to see some smaller goals that departments will work on, and our budgets are intended to reflect fulfilling the priority goals of the strategic plan. So that's why council wants to make sure that they have this affirmed as they get into the budget, to make sure that they're following the plan that they put together.
Definitely, and you can find the full strategic plan on the city website, and it gets a lot more specific, like you mentioned, Mark, that all of our goals are listed down there, and we kind of work along that plan as the years go by. Moving down under council discussion and direction to city manager, future agenda items, we've got a petition received regarding bike lanes on West Haven Drive. Give us a little update on what this is and what the next steps are going to be with that.
At the last council meeting, some residents who live along West Haven Drive submitted a petition to council, and council just essentially, they couldn't take action on it that night. So it's on the agenda for them to give us some direction on what they would like to do with it. My recommendation to the council is that this is a plan that was reviewed and approved by no less than 3 different boards and commissions of citizen members who give advice to council. And the bike and pedestrian plan received a lot of support from our sustainability board, our bike and pedestrian advisory committee, as well as our traffic and parking advisory board. So I think it's appropriate that if council is going to consider a request such as this, that they should get input from those 3 committees first. So that's really what I'm recommending, and and we'll see what council wants to do with it. But I think they'll send it back to those committees to relook at that and to see if they want to reaffirm what's already in our long-range plan for bike and pedestrian use.
Excellent. And then the very last thing that we want to talk about on the council agenda is to push the absentee voting continuing through November 2nd we've got here. And we encourage people to get out and vote. Yeah,
it started on October 15th, and as we know, it's already busy here in the hallways of City Hall. So it's going to be 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. on weekdays. We're going to have a special Saturday, October 27th from 9 a.m. to noon. And then on November 2nd, it actually runs through 5 p.m. By law, that's the last day we can do it. So we want to make sure that if people are rushing over here after work or something, that we can accommodate them. So 8 to 5 on November 2nd, our last day. So please be aware of that. And of course, as it says, please remember to bring your photo ID. That's now the law. Very important. And all of that information that you just listed, Mark, is available on the city website under the City Clerks tab. And if you have any questions, feel free to give them a call at the clerk's office. So that's going to do it for this episode of City Manager's Report. We are out of time, and thank you very much, Mark, as always, for joining us today. Always a pleasure. Again, the Common Council meeting is this Tuesday, October 23rd at 6 p.m. You can watch it live on GovTV and on our website, oshkoshmedia.org, or you can listen to it on the radio at Oshkosh FM, which is also online and on the TuneIn Radio app. Make sure you like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter for all of your community and government programming and updates, or be sure to check out our YouTube channel for government meeting replays and past episodes of all your favorite Oshkosh Media programs. And don't forget, if you have a question for City Manager Mark Roloff, send it to us on Twitter, post it on our Facebook page, or email it to us, and he'll answer it on the next episode of City Manager's Report. So with that, thanks again so very much for joining us on City Manager's Report, and we'll see you next time.